So due to the weather conditions that we've had to repo the start to Nevada City, you've all read, I'm sure, on Cycling News and Velo News how cooperative the mayor, I believe it was, or the city manager, in pulling together resources, allowing us to amend some kind of start line there. It's much different from what it was last year. If you were with us, it's not climbing, that's not Main Street, but we're turning before that onto Nevada to Sacramento, and we're going to pick up the sprint line. So the sprint line is actually where the start line is, and I believe that's going to be Mary's team that actually has that. We're going to adjust Mary's team once we get there, because I think, were you pre and post sprint line?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But I mean, just by one drop.
One drop.
I think I have 4 people on this route and 4 people not.
Right,
so
but keep in mind the sprint lines were always close in coverage or proximity due to the speeds that we are coming through. So we actually cover almost everything we can leading up to a quarter of a mile. And in this case, I'll talk to you once we get on the ground there. We're going to be on the ground probably less than an hour. So first things first, restroom breaks after about an hour and a half transfer, hour and 15 by GPS, but depending on the road conditions. Battery, lunches or food, and of course you're sending one individual for these things, right? Not the whole teams, and remember your team number when you go for that. And then of course whatever else that's pertinent to your operation that you're going to need depending on how far out you are. You'll know your jumps, so like Mary's team, she probably knows her jumps. Coffee and drinks aren't paramount right now, because once you start the race, then you stop at the convenience store. You follow me? So you're juggling priorities once we get there. And that's going to be paramount, because I'm going to need the drivers to stay with the vans, because where we're at, I'm not even aware of the parking. So we may park down, post-start, and then just have to walk back, trickle back, stay out of the way of all the chippies lining up, the start crew, the advance crew, just so that we don't have to worry about moving vehicles once we get there. They've added 2 finishing circuits to the finish. I guess all of you are aware of that. So that's 3 total times. Depending on where you are, though, entering the circuit, guess how many times you'll see them? 4. If you are on the circuit entry or anyone on that back leg up to the start line, that's not a lap. That's still coming into the circuit. So don't confuse the folks, whoever you're talking to, that, yeah, there's 3, you're going to see them 2 more times and open up the roadway and things like that. It's actually 4 laps unless they've crossed the finish line, then it's 3. 3 to go then at that point. When we get to the circuit, if anyone is going straight to the hotel, if I could ask for your patience to please, if you are on the fence as far as a room goes, alias, or you do not have one, please wait for me. I'm going to be at the circuit entry, which is on the north side on L, and I'm going to zip over to J and just shoot straight up to the Holiday Inn there on 300 J Street. I'll try to beat everyone there just so I can be most accommodating to your schedules and not have you waiting like we were here. But I can't promise anything. If I get wrapped up on course and can't get back around to the circuit entry, David Laddie will be there. We'll have everything covered. Les will probably be there. And then, of course, Chuck may be there as well, depending on how far the gap is. But I'll do my best to make it to the hotel, just knowing that I'm actually working for you tonight, just to make sure the hotel check-ins go well. And I'm going to ask that you remain or stay healthy. I started feeling a little bit blue last night. Didn't get lots of sleep, talking on the phone with medalists from well into the 12:30 hour. And then, of course, I know some folks were up at 5 a.m. this morning along with myself, and I went left while they went right. Looked at Donner's Pass. The rain forecast is still the same, 70% chance, 60% chance. We're going to Sacramento, but we're coming back to Auburn, and then we're going down to Modesto. It's going to be a rainy season there, so if you don't have dry clothes or a second pair of shoes, things like that, something to consider when you're in Sacramento to start shopping for. And then, of course, lastly, when we caravan out of here, it's not as icy or dicey as it was this morning at 6 a.m., but it still is a little treacherous. Please just give way to the vehicles in front of you, because if I come to a stop or someone else, and it's just a chain reaction, and if you even just go to the left as a safety precaution, you've spooked 2 vans behind you, because they just aren't aware. So things like that, just play it safe. We're going to be on the construction channel, caravanning down. I'll have the repeater in the vehicle going a little bit farther in depth so I can ask for instructions on specific parking. I'll turn that down and then relay it off to all of you as we're coming in. And then, of course, I may ask Les to advance forward, things like that. I do want to give a very special thanks to the crew that has helped out, the two motor staff here, as well as all of the motor individuals. With Eric and Ron last night, they did a great job above and beyond because they had to go back to Homa and find those guys. And then we got the news late last night, and then I got three folks, as well as the bands, rounded up with Mike, John, and David this morning. Give those guys a round of applause. Guys, it was important that we get those motors, and the two motors that are here, if any stories that they shared with you, we're going to be short of resources going forward, so it's going to be paramount that we take our time to make sure that we don't lose one van, because then we're going to be down to 7, and so on and so on. So do your best at whatever you can as far as helping out, remaining healthy. You know, Ron got an exemption because, yes, he did work last night. I'm not expecting everyone to step up, but just note that when you do, it is very, very recognized. And of course, I'm not remembering names, things like that. You don't get a special ticket, but there will be there will be some monetary, you know, either gifts or thank yous, things like that. I'll do my best to make sure, if it's not a signed autographed t-shirt for myself, it'll be someone's signed and autographed just riding in the race car itself. It may be from Les, yeah, Mark or Terrence, who knows. Any last minute questions as we start to move forward on what I think will actually be a more productive day? We're starting at the 60.9 mile mark, so it's going to be a relatively short day. I think most of you now have just 2 jumps, where it was looking at a 3-jump day. It's going to be fantastic for you all on a sunny afternoon. It would have been very fun. Time would have flown by, and you would have been just zonked by the time we rolled into the Holiday Inn. But maybe the next day or even the day after.